Hey guys, good morning. It's 8 a.m. for me here in LA, and last night at midnight, Atomos blasted off two emails. First email was at midnight itself, and the next one to follow was at 1 a.m. Both of them addressing the newest firmware 10.55. 10.55 has its perks, and they are not disappointing at all. So stay tuned. So with 10.55, there's a lot of upgrades, and those upgrades tend to be quite drastic, especially for those users that have Final Cut Pro 10.49, and that is to have the ability to access the ISO metadata in white balance. That's great news for all ProRes RAW shooters. Now, here's the thing. Last night's upgrade mostly favors two manufacturers, and that's because they already have the firmware upgrade within the camera. The other manufacturer is Nikon, and they will be addressing that firmware upgrade coming up pretty soon. Those cameras are going to have an upgrade, and they will take a full advantage of the newest upgrade that just came out. And that is a part with what I mentioned before with Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro will require an update for them to have access to all this information. Now, don't hold Atomos to their word here, because just like before, when they said that Nikon was coming out with ProRes RAW and Nikon took their sweet time to release that firmware upgrade, and then we found out it was going to be a paid upgrade, there's information coming out from Atomos, but the information may be true, maybe not, maybe soon, maybe later, but nonetheless, it will be at least by February. So here's the two cameras that have access to the metadata today, and that would be the Sony A7S3 and the which was the other one? The Sigma FP. Both of those cameras, as long as they have the latest firmware upgrade within the system, will have that access. Now, if you're going to be using this for your Nikon system, you'll need the firmware upgrade as well. But like I said earlier, that will be coming out quite soon. If you have the first generation, the Nikon Z6, you'll get the firmware upgrade much sooner than the second generation. That firmware upgrade will come out this year, while the second generation will get that upgrade towards February, when they'll incorporate both aspects of those firmwares to make sure that it works with Blackmagic RAW. You will still need an external recorder from Blackmagic, and that's the Video Assist 12G. If you would like to know more about that, just head out to Blackmagic's website and you'll find out what's going on there. Here's the second kicker to today's news. Atomos sent out the email saying that the firmware is available today. Well, here we are, 8:30, and there's nothing available yet. The website still mentions 10.54. I'm still waiting for 10.55. If by the time I'm editing this, I will jump in here and talk about that to see what's the difference between 10.54 and 10.55. Those differences are vast. You'll be able to record ProRes RAW, but you'll be able to convert it right away in the Ninja. So you can view the conversion from RAW to log in the monitor and apply the LUT at the same time. That's going to be a great feature because that's exactly what we're doing right now in Final Cut Pro and Premiere. Not just that, but you're also going to be able to monitor your log recordings a lot better. You're going to have access to HLG and native, so you can view those aspects a lot better and see where it is exactly that you're clipping or you may not. There's a lot of features here being advertised, but unfortunately I cannot test that until I get that firmware upgrade onto the system. I'm still waiting on Nikon to send me that shipping label so I can send back my Z6 back to Nikon in New York. Unfortunately, they're taking their sweet time about that. Why is it taking so long? I don't know, to be honest. I wish I knew. So right now, I do not have ProRes RAW. I'm recording this in log so I can still get the 10-bit aspect of it. And not just that, but I also am doing this to do a test as far as the Atomos here. Got a viewer that said that you get flickering on the Atomos when you're recording log, and that's what I'm testing as well. I'm hoping that there's none. From what I'm seeing right now, I don't see any flickering whatsoever. So it may be that person's sensor, it may be dirty or may not. But once I get to Premiere, I'll see exactly what's going on, and if there's that flickering, I'll address it. But as far as I can see right now, there's none. So that's the news that's coming out of Atomos. So hold on tight, and maybe by Christmas that you'll get that firmware upgrade that you won by Nikon and maybe all the other systems as well. But I would love to try firmware 10.55 right now and see if I can access that information from the ISO and the white balance. Although I do not know if I'll have access to that because that is meant mostly for RAW. But I'm going to try it out to see if maybe, just maybe, I still have access to that information from old recordings that I've made. So I'll follow up with that video later. But as for now, this is where I'm going to leave it at. But if there's any information or if the actual firmware upgrade comes out during the process of editing, I'll jump in here. Okay? Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.